But anyhow, I'm more of a journalist type, not really an events person, but I got into events because it's part of the whole content story today. I like to interview people, write about them, and then put them on stage. That's what we're all here for, is to hear our speakers talk about this very topical issue of China and Hollywood and China and technology deal-making, which is being very much eagle-eyed as we speak in Washington, D.C. And in Beijing as well. So it's a very, very timely conference that we're having. First, I'd like to welcome to the stage Eric Dysart from the Pasadena Economic Development Group. He's their economic manager. Thank you, Eric, for your support. We're so happy to be here in Pasadena again. So Eric will say a few welcome remarks.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Pasadena. We're always happy to be a partner with Silicon Dragon, and Rebecca, she does a great job of getting various people together internationally. So in Pasadena, we're very proud of kind of where we are in the Los Angeles area and Southern California. With Caltech continuing to reach out internationally. They just broke ground on the Chin Neuroscience building on campus, which is going to be a phenomenal new facility. Art Center College of Design just recently announced connections with China. That's just the institutional front here locally. And we have a wide variety of business connections, both on the finance side, engineering, and technology. So we're fortunate and excited here in Pasadena to always cooperate and partner and celebrate different milestones that our local partners have. So there are a couple other Pasadena people here in the room. Feel free to connect with us. Let us share a bit more about Pasadena. I won't take up more time now, but at least wanted to take the chance now to welcome you and wish you well for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to say that these events do not happen in a vacuum. We really depend upon the support of the community, and I do appreciate all those who became Silicon Dragon Circle members, which entitles you to quite a few benefits, like more events like this and our VIP invitations. So if you're not a Circle member yet, please sign up. And of course, our sponsors, which are Nixon Peabody, East West Bank, KPMG, and of course the Pasadena Economic Development. So I think without further ado, I'd also like to welcome David Kaufman, who's here from Nixon Peabody, our lead sponsor for dealing with deal making and legal issues. And of course, David will also give us an idea of the kinds of issues that they've been working on at Nixon Peabody. So David?
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. We've been really fortunate to be involved with Rebecca's programs. I think for a decade. Right after you stopped, you started the events business, we came on as a sponsor, and it's been great. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what my background. I've been doing business in China for 30 years. We have we're a big international law firm. We have an extensive China practice. I spend most of my time working on China-related issues. I just came back from China 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to give a little insight on what's happening, what are we seeing through our deals that are going on right now. You don't have to be a genius to pick up the paper and see that there are problems, there are issues, there's tension between the United States and China, and that's really impacting the size of the deals that are going on, the deal flow that's happening. It definitely is having a chilling effect. I think that Rebecca said in an article today, a dampening, and I would definitely underscore that. But I think it's important to say that deals are still happening. We're still very active. We're still seeing a lot of activity going on. The connections, the bonds between China and the U.S. are still incredibly strong and have been developing over the years. And I don't think this is an obstacle. This is a hiccup. This is not the end of the road. It is I like to say it's a chapter in a very long book. Unfortunately, it's kind of a scary chapter, but we will survive it. So I said smaller deals are going on. I think technology is a critically important part of it. Entertainment's an important part of it. Educational programs, very, very interesting stuff going on. Healthcare, also an area where we're seeing a lot of activity, a lot of interest in cross-border work, and that's surviving some of these issues just because there's huge demand on both sides. we're seeing also interest in other geographies that are kind of filling in where the U.S. left off in terms of inbound into China. We're heavily involved in deals right now involving Israeli companies going into China, and kind of vice versa. So I think that's those have kind of stepped into the vacuum to some extent. As far as investment into the U.S., we are seeing other parts of Asia stepping in as well. We're seeing a lot of deals coming out of Singapore right now. Malaysia, Korea seem to be the top three that we're seeing, and a lot of activity that's happening. But I have to say that I'm pretty optimistic that this will pass. And if something does happen, one of the things that we're looking at very carefully, and we're hearing a lot of interest in, are some of the barriers to investment from the U.S. into China that do exist would be pulled away, which you're seeing some of the talk about that. That could lead to a huge amount of opportunities for folks like you that are very savvy, very interested, know China, know how to do business there, to jump into it. So we're optimistic. We're still seeing deals going on, and we see a lot of pent-up demand on both the U.S. side and on the China side. So when things do thaw out, we're looking forward to be even more busy than we are now. But it sounds like you're going to have a great program. We were excited to sponsor, and I'll turn it back over to Rebecca. Thank you.
I think this is true. It's something I've been picking up as a journalist writing about this topic too, is the movement from China into other sections of the world or other parts of the world, such as Israel and Southeast Asia, as the controls tighten coming into the U.S. So this is going to be an ongoing issue to watch. But anyhow, I would also like to thank our many supporters. As you can see, they're all up here listed on our slide. America Innovates, Plug and Play Tech Center, Plus You, Innovate Pasadena, the Lacey Group, who has some entrepreneurs who are represented here today, Los Angeles County Economic Development, Get Global, and NEXT, except the E is backwards. But anyhow, Silicon Dragon welcomes the support of many groups, and we can't do it alone. So thank you, all of the associations that helped us. And our media partners as well. Sharon Simkraus is here doing a number of media interviews. We have a lot of media registered, and they're doing quite a few interviews with our speakers. So you'll see that happening around. And Sharon, thank you very much for all your help. And I write for Forbes once a week, at least once a week, more than that, really. So you can check out my Forbes column. Business Wire helped us get the word out about this event. And of course, WeChat and Twitter. So anyhow, media partners count too. If you're tweeting about us, we're at Silicon Dragon, and we also have an official account at WeChat. And we have a Silicon Dragon newsletter. It comes out weekly, where we actually showcase news from our events and news from the various tech and innovation deals that are happening. It's a very, very interesting time right now. I think I've never seen so many Chinese companies going public in the U.S., for instance, 3 tomorrow in New York. So, and I'm interviewing at least 2 of those CEOs that are going public tomorrow. So I'll be writing about that later. But we did that. We did the welcome remarks. So we're gaining on time. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Janet Yang, film producer of Janet Yang Productions, and Christine Liu from America Innovates and Cross Border Lab. You're in for a treat to hear these two chat about topics we're all interested in. So thank you, Janet, and thank you, Christine. Come on up.